Welcome to the Note to Self podcast. I'm your host, Zoe Ariel, an adventurous entrepreneur who loves to make the most out of life. I'm a certified professional life coach, digital course creator, verified YouTuber, and published author. On this podcast, you can expect actionable tips, reflections, and inspiration to live your best, most fulfilling life. So, let's get started. Hello everyone, welcome back to Note to Self. I am super excited to be back with you guys. I took a bit of a break after my 60th episode and so much has happened. So much growth and transformation and shifting and manifestations in my reality, and I'm so excited to share more of that as the journey goes on. But as you guys might know, there's a bit of a facelift that has happened to the podcast cover art. And also my new website and all my rebranding is finally complete. This has been something that I've been working on for the past 5 months. So it just feels like such a celebration to have that done and to really encompass my work in such a beautiful website. So I encourage you guys, if you're listening, please check it out. Please let me know what you think. And what's great about this website is that I finally have a place to showcase all of the incredible digital courses that I've created over the years. So those of you who are listening right now, for about a week or just over a week, I am offering the promo code podcast20 for you to get 20% off any of my online digital courses that you would like. So for example, my signature course or my signature academy, the Digital Nomad Academy, that's about $400 off that course, off that program. So if that interests you, go ahead and check it out. I've got courses at all different price entry points, and I've got some new low-cost offers, such as a low-cost money bundle, which actually contains some of the bonus content from my money program, Opulence. So there's a full abundance of things to check out on the new website. So remember, podcast 20, the link will be down below, and take advantage of that because I think that's going to be the best promo that I ever offer. And it's a big thank you to those of you who have been following along this journey, who have been listening to my podcast. It really, truly means so much to me. So what has been going on? I thought I would use this episode as a bit of a life update since the last time that we spoke. So yes, so much has shifted, and that includes my location. As I shared with you guys, I moved into my dream villa in Canggu in Bali, and I moved in just after I got back from India. I was in India for a month, and then I came back and moved right into my dream villa, which was so incredible. It's so wonderful when we actually live in our manifestations, when we create things in our mind, and then we actually get to really walk through them, especially something so tangible like your home that you witness and experience each day. It was truly so expansive for those 2 months, and I have a funny story I want to share with you guys. So I've lived in Canggu for the last year, and so that means that I moved there when I don't believe people were so much allowed into Bali at that point, so it was very quiet. There was not very much traffic on the roads, and slowly but surely that began to increase and increase and increase. And Canggu is like the hotspot in Bali, so it's like the city, if you will. And what I noticed is that once I got back from India, it felt like I was plopped back into a different Canggu. The traffic, the chaotic energy, the amount of tourists had definitely increased. And I'm used to living in quite touristic places, Toronto and Rome, but where I'm at in my life personally, I crave more nature. I crave more spaciousness, more peace and calming energy. I really value my nervous system. So I started to really recognize how I wasn't really leaving the house that much because the energy outside just wasn't feeling in alignment with me. And I would then go to Uluwatu, which is my favorite place in Bali, which was has been always my little weekend getaway. Like when the city felt like a little bit chaotic and I wanted to reset my system, I would go to Uluwatu. And what's interesting is that since I first visited Uluwatu, I was like, wow, this would be the dream to move here. But in Bali, you almost have to like earn your place here. This is something that one of my best friends, Grayson, she was talking about, and it totally makes sense. Like, Bali is such a healing place, and you kind of have to work your way through all the different areas, or I would say at least like Ubud and Canggu. You have to try them out a little bit to really appreciate Uluwatu truly for what it is on a different level. So now I found myself at Uluwatu, but how did this go down? Okay, because it was quite interesting. When I went off to Uluwatu to spend a weekend to have a little getaway for myself, I remember thinking like, oh, I just want to be here. Like, this is actually where I want to be, but it's almost like I wouldn't let myself feel into that. I wouldn't let myself give myself that vision for my future, because I'm like, no, you just landed your dream villa. You've only been in it for 2 months. Like, you signed a lease. Leases are quite loose in Bali, and we'll get into that in a moment. But it was almost like I could see how I was actually inhibiting myself from giving myself what I truly wanted. And what ended up happening is a few weeks later, I had a dream, and it was very vivid, very clear. And my spirit guides, or it was in a type of consulta, and they said, move to Uluwatu. And it was so clear. It was like the only thing that I obtained from that dream. It was so wild. I woke up and I was like, I have to move to Uluwatu. And I grabbed my phone right away, and I was on Facebook already looking at the Facebook groups for villas in Uluwatu. And then I caught myself and I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You signed a lease. You just moved into your dream villa. Like, what's going on? And I was like, right. So I kind of had to snap myself out of it. I don't normally reach for my phone and go on Facebook first thing in the morning, but something had come over me. And that evening, you guys, at 8 p.m., right before I'm about to fall asleep, my realtor texts me and she said, Zoe, someone bought the villa that you're living in. You have to move out. And I just, a previous version of me might have felt a bit scattered, might have felt like the rug was being pulled out from underneath me. But I was rejoicing inside. I had the biggest smile on my face because I'm like, yes, this is my out. I get to go to Uluwatu now. So that's where I am now in Bali. I am presently in an Airbnb for another couple of weeks before I move into my actual dream villa. It's so interesting because the place that I'm moving into is actually my dreams. It's like the dream villa, but it also has the view that I've always desired, which is like an ocean view, a very expansive ocean view. So it's an ocean view villa. I can't wait to share more of this with you guys on Instagram. My Instagram is Zoe Ariel. This is just another manifestation, but it happened so effortlessly and easily because I've just consciously always been intending and creating my most desired place to live. And even though I didn't fully let myself feel into Uluwatu, sometimes spirit comes in and works its magic and intervenes a little bit. So yeah, that was a really beautiful story. And I know I like to keep these podcasts kind of short form, but we're going to get into like a couple other things that have occurred. So I have been doing a lot of spiritual growth lately, like really deep spiritual growth to an extent and a level that I haven't ever done before. And the way that I can frame this or speak about this is that my soul is going through a type of acceleration period, and I've had some intuitives and healers reflect that back to me, which is very validating because when you're in an acceleration, those of you who've been through something like this is when like the universe is giving you a lot of lessons all at once. It means big abundant things are happening, but it can also feel ungrounding and unstabilizing at times. So in the future episodes, I'm definitely going to be talking on some things that I've learned and things that I've integrated and how to relax and heal my nervous system during this time. In this acceleration, I, to support the nervous system, I actually got certified in EFT tapping. And that has been something that has really transformed things for me. And it's something that I'm most certainly going to be adding into future programs and courses because it is so incredibly healing and valuable to release different stagnant energies or uncomfortable energies in the body and allow yourself to experience more freedom. I also got certified as a Ho'oponopono practitioner, which is has been amazing. Ho'oponopono is such a beautiful practice. Those of you who may not be familiar with it, you might be familiar with the phrases, I am sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. They can be said in any order, but that might ring a couple bells. And Ho'oponopono meditations are very, very powerful. And if you feel like that's ringing some kind of bell for you, I encourage you to maybe pop on YouTube or even on Spotify and search Ho'oponopono meditation. It is always so incredibly powerful. So got a couple certifications, a lot of spiritual learning, and in this acceleration period, what my soul is going through, I've actually fully allowed and opened up my vocal channel to source. So I have been trans-channeling, and this is also termed as like trans-channeling mediumship. I have been trans-channeling higher dimensional beings and also people who have passed over onto the other side. So this is truly a gift. It feels like a gift that I am opening and have been opening from God. And I really can't wait to share more of this with you when I feel comfortable to do so. Yeah, like I said, it's a gift and I feel so incredibly grateful. And even just talking about it right now, like my whole body is just, I really have no words for how it feels or how profound or how magical and how connected that experience is. And yeah, like I said, I'm excited to share more with you because those of you who have followed along my journey on YouTube, you know that there was a time, or there has been times where I've been connected to galactic beings, higher dimensional galactic beings, and I was actually able to channel the Pleiadians, and that was just truly a very special experience for me, and I'm looking forward to channeling more and sharing more of that with you. And yeah, and then also other like higher dimensional beings, my guides, and like I said, people who have passed over. So I'm not exactly sure yet how I am going to share these gifts with the world. I know that that's what I'm going to do, but the path isn't fully made clear yet. So as soon as I feel comfortable, trust that you will receive that magic, those codes, whenever it's made clear for me. But as for right now, I'm just strengthening the gifts. I'm strengthening the channel and allowing the messages that need to flow through right now to flow through. So that's been really special to me. And thank you for just allowing me to feel safe in expressing myself on this podcast, Note to Self, and on my journey this far. I just appreciate and love each of you so, so much. And this subject matter at certain points in time has felt quite vulnerable to express because there's been a lot that's naturally been moving and shifting in my reality and my body as a result of this. It's like everything that has felt off or not in alignment or even misaligned, like even someone who I considered fairly close to and a business partner, that's like fallen out of my life because I believe that when you raise your vibration naturally, when you raise your consciousness, when you start connecting even more deeply to source, those that are not in resonance or those things around you that are not good for you or the people around you that do not have your best intentions in mind, they will naturally fall away so that you can allow yourself to integrate into these higher vibrations and these gifts with ease and trust and not feel any other types of inhibitions. So yeah, I will leave this podcast at this, but again, thank you so much for listening. And those of you who are interested in any of my programs or courses, Podcast 20 will get you 20% off. So only for a limited time. So go ahead and jump on that. And if you do have any questions about any of my programs or courses, know that you can always reach out on Instagram or via email. And I love you so, so much. Thanks for listening to Note to Self. If you enjoyed this episode, please help me out by rating and reviewing this show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If my energy is resonating with you and you feel the call to work with me, there are an abundance of ways to do so. I offer one-to-one life coaching programs, mastermind containers, and DIY courses, all of which are available through my website, zoeariel.co. Until next time, take note of all the abundance that surrounds you as you make the most of this game called life.